I just bought an underwater camera for my boat. I'm planning on building an ROV, which is an underwater drone. So I needed a camera to get the project started. And so at any rate, I found this is pretty inexpensive. It's called, it looks like eYoYo. It's made in China. And you can get them for between $200 and $300. Some of them I see below $200 on Amazon, depending on what you get. This one, I got a video recorder built into this one. So at any rate, the quality on this is not great. They have an upgraded one, and I wanted to get it. I ordered this one first, and then I went ahead and ordered the upgraded one. The difference is this one has 1000 TVL, which is television lines, so it's kind of old technology. It's not HD. They have an HD version. It's a 720p HD, and I really want at least 1080p full HD or 4K. So I'll probably get a separate camera when I build this ROV, so I'll have a high quality image. But for now, this will work fine to get the project started. And so I paid, I think I bought it on Amazon. I bought it on Amazon, and I think I paid, it was close to $300. I think out the door with tax and everything, it was like $295. So you can get them cheaper than that, but they have a version that doesn't have a recorder. That's the cheaper version. You can get them for like 180 something. But this one has the video recorder, which is the thing about this video recorder is about every 20 seconds it shuts down and restarts. So you end up with a million video files you have to deal with. I haven't looked at I haven't taken the SD card out and put it in my laptop yet. So I heard that it doesn't look too good, but it looks really good on the screen that's on here. So it's surprisingly good. So at any rate, let's open this up and I'll show you what's inside. So it has a really nice case. This case is really nice, and it's pretty sturdy. And so at any rate, open it up, and inside is the screen. It's built into the lid. So there's the screen, and the recorder's built into the screen. And it has this protective foam to protect the screen when you close it up. And then it has a manual, and it actually isn't too bad. It's readable. It has this little visor that goes over. You just put this in here, and it kind of just fits in here, and it creates a sunscreen for the monitor. And so that just pushes right in. There's foam around this outside, I think. There's a gap there that you can push it into. I haven't put it on yet, but it comes with a battery, and the battery is pretty cool. It's actually a really good battery, and it lasts quite a long time, several hours. So I think I haven't run this one all the way down yet, but I heard that it can run like for 6 hours. I run your camera for 6 hours, which is pretty good. It has a meter on here that tells you the state of charge, and it has a charger input. So it comes with a battery charger, which is right here. It has this little float if you want to tie this onto the cable that the camera is attached to, so you can kind of see it. People actually fish with this thing, so it's crazy. But I don't think I'll be using that. And here's the battery charger. So it's one of these kind, and I really like this type of battery charger, because if you have a power strip, you can put several of these things in a power strip. The old-fashioned square type, you ever use them on a power strip, you know you can only put like 2 or 3 of them on there, and that's all the room you got. But this one, you can put one of these on every plug on a power strip. So from now on, when I buy power supplies, I'm going to be getting this type, because I do use a lot of power strips for a lot of different things. And so this is the charger. So you just plug this in. It has a little LED. It's red, and then it turns green when it's charged up. And the camera has infrared LEDs. So let me get the camera out. Here's the camera, and it kind of looks like a fish. It's got little eyes here on each side, and the reason for that is to so it won't scare fish away, because basically this is used mainly for fishing. And so it's kind of cool. You can put this, some people put it right on their fishing line, and you can see the fish when they're going to strike. And some of them are actually painted like fish. So some of these cameras you can get that are painted like fish, like a fish. And this has this piece of metal wire out here. I was trying to figure out what the hell this is for, but I found out this is so you can put, I guess you can put a hook and bait on here. So you can actually use this as your fishing line and everything. A lot of people ice fish with these, so they just drop it down. This one I got comes with 50 meters of cable. The screen's a little heavy. I'm gonna put the battery in there to hold this down. So this one is the longest cable I could find. So it's 50 meters, which is about 150 feet a line. And there's a couple different ways you can rig this up. It comes with these plastic hoops, and that's for attaching your cable to make it float or angle your camera at certain angles. Also has these metal clips, which I'm not sure what they're for. I haven't figured that out yet. So at any rate, what I'm gonna do is, right now I'll just go ahead and hook it up and turn it on. And so what you do is the camera has 3 connectors, and the battery has 3 connectors, cables, and then the battery also has a 12 volt DC output and a video input. Let's see, how does this work? This DC output runs the monitor. So you plug the battery into the monitor, and you also plug it into the camera, so it runs the camera and the monitor. And so this is actually it's a 12 volt, and that's another thing that's nice about this. Runs on 12 volts, so you can use a bigger battery. You can even use your house battery on your boat if it's 12 volt system. And but this is you got this on the top. It's 12 volt output to run the camera, and also a video output that goes from the camera, goes into this, and then out this top one into the monitor. The camera has LEDs, and there's, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 12 LEDs in here. Now be warned, they're not white light, they're infrared. So when you turn the LEDs on, the picture turns black and white. It's just like a surveillance camera for your house. If you have infrared night vision on your cameras, you notice it's black and white. It's not in color. But when you don't use the LEDs and you're just using like daylight, the color looks pretty good. And it is color monitor, and color camera. Underwater, I'm going to have to put a white LEDs on my ROV because I want to be able to see color. And so at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and hook this up. I'll show you how it hooks up. It's real simple. Now the way you turn the LEDs on and off is by just plugging them into this red cable. And there's a knob on the side of this battery, and this controls the brightness of the infrared LEDs, so you can turn the brightness up and down. Also has a power switch on here. You want to be careful when you charge it up that you make sure you plug the power supply into the charger port and not the one on top. That's an output. This is an input. And so it says charger on there. So just be aware that you want to plug it into the plug that says charger when you charge it up. And so I'm going to go ahead and hook this up. So it's real straightforward. So the two cables connect together, the camera cable and the battery cable. And so what you want to do is the red and this black one, is for the LEDs. Let's plug those together. And then the black one here and black one here is for the power to power the camera. And then the yellow one is your video lead. And you just plug the two yellow ones together. And so now that's connected correctly. Now the monitor has two connectors, and this is what I was telling you about, and this is on the top of the battery. So one is the power plug to run the monitor off the battery, so you plug that in here. And then you have your video lead that sends the video signal from the camera through the battery into the into the monitor. So now it should be all set. And the monitor has some controls. It has brightness controls and some different things on the menu that you can adjust. It's pretty limited, but it does what you need. So it has a power button. And it's not coming on. Why are you not coming on? Oh, you got to turn the battery on. There's a switch. So there's a switch on the battery, and I don't have it turned on. So that's why it's not coming on. I forgot about that. So yep, right by the knob here for the lights is a switch. So turn the switch on. Okay, there we go. Now the battery's on, and it's not fully charged, but 3/4 of the way full. So I don't know if you can see the LEDs on there. And I kind of like to keep the battery in the case here because of the monitor makes this case want to flip over. Eventually what I'll probably do is I'll remove everything out of this case except for the monitor, and then put in my controls for the ROV, the forward, back, up, and down controls. Will go in this box, so I can actually hold it like this, oops, and hold it like this and control the ROV, the underwater drone. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it around and power it up. It should come on now. What happened? I turned my battery off by accident. Okay, one more time. It should come on now. There it goes. So there it is, and here's the camera, and so you can kind of see around here. I don't know if you can see me in it, but there I am. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to attach this camera to this pole here. This is my pole, my handle for my cleaning the bottom of my boat for brushes and this underwater cleaning thing that I made a video on just recently. And so I'm going to use this pole, hook the camera to it, and then we'll go off the boat here and put it in the water and take a look at the prop shaft, the zincs down there, and see how they look. And so I'm going to have to hook this up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the power off to here. It has a record and playback button, and it has brightness controls, and so there's a menu that you can scroll through and make some adjustments. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and power down, turn the battery off, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tape this. Now these little hoops, what they're for, you can take one of these plastic hoops, and then it's got these eyelets on here, There's 3 of them, 1 on the bottom and 2 on top. And so what you do is you can take these plastic hoops and then connect it into the eyelets, so you can have it pointing down, or you can have it pointing up, like that, or you can adjust it so it floats level or points level. It doesn't float, it sinks. And so that's what that's for. I'm not sure what the one on the bottom's for. It might be to put a weight on it to make it heavier if you're maybe going to put a bobber on it or something like this thing. I don't know if that's what this is for, basically, a bobber. I don't know if, I guess it could be. You can tell if a fish strikes, but I think with the camera you'll be able to see if a fish is going to strike, so I don't see the point in this thing, other than maybe just kind of keeping an eye on where your cable's at. So I'm just going to crudely tape this to the pole here. I want to kind of go at an angle. I don't want to scratch it up, so I think I need to put some kind of a covering on it. Let's see what I got. So now I'm just going to connect it to this pole. So I'll put some tape around this. So use blue masking tape for now. So this blue tape actually looks pretty good. It gets wet and it still sticks. So I'm just putting this plastic on here so I don't scratch up the camera with this metal pole. Okay, now then. My metal pole still has water in it from the other day. Okay, how am I going to do this? That's good enough. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so we'll take it down, put it in the water, and see what we can see. So I'll take my my cable. It comes with this Velcro that goes around the cable, so kind of keeps it on the spool for you. It's kind of nice. And now I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna get this down there. Now the screen's really hard to see in the daylight. It does have a brightness adjustment. When you adjust the brightness, the screen kind of washes out some. But there's a contrast adjustment. Probably be better to do this at night. You can see the screen a lot better. Okay, yeah, there's the prop right there. So get in close here and see what I can see. There's probably grasses all over it, so I'm not going to probably be able to see the zinc too well. Okay, here's a little footage I'm doing right now for showing this screen on my underwater camera. And so this is the LCD screen, and there's my prop. You can see my prop. The camera's underwater right here. And you can see there's a lot of bottom growth on my boat. My last video last week, I made this, put up together this boat bottom cleaning tool. And I only had the foam part on that tool. I haven't put the Scotch-Brite scrubby pad part on it yet, so I haven't cleaned the bottom of the boat yet. So I just, in that last video, I just tested the boat cleaning tool to see if it would work okay as far as the buoyancy coming up in cleaning the bottom of the boat. And I only did a little bit on the other side of the boat. So you can see there's a lot of bottom growth. It's mostly just grasses. I didn't really see any barnacles when I ran my boat cleaning tool. You can feel barnacles if they're down there when the boat cleaning tool goes over them. But so at any rate, again, there's my prop. I'm rerunning this video here a little bit to give you an idea what the camera looks like underwater. You can see a lot of debris floating in the water. I'm not sure. I had the infrared LEDs plugged in, and they'll show more debris in the water. But I'm also seeing color, and that's kind of interesting. I guess because it's a mixture of infrared, and then also there's sunlight because it's a sunny day when I'm filming this. And but I will go ahead and see if I can find some video here that shows the outside out of the water. Here's some more of the prop, kind of a different angle. Okay, here's what it looks like on the outside. So it don't look too bad. The color's not perfect. It's a little magenta, so it's kind of got a reddish, purplish tinge to it. And you know, the clarity isn't, it's not HD, but it doesn't look too bad. It really doesn't. And the color isn't too bad either. If when I went around the other side of the boat and the sun, I'm kind of, as you can see the sun up there, I'm pointing into the sun there, so you don't get good video when you point the camera into the sun. And again, the camera is pretty far away from the hull. It's underwater, but you can see all the debris in the water. I think that's from the infrared. Okay, here's this now coming up out of the water. And as you can see, it doesn't look too bad. I was really surprised. It's a 1,000 line TVL, which is TVL lines, and so it's technically it's twice as good as the old televisions in the old days, color televisions, and as far as resolution, but it's still not HD. They do make an HD model. It's a 720p HD. I wish they had 1080 or 4K on one of these units, but they don't yet. I'm sure they will eventually. But I'm going to build an ROV, or underwater drone, and so I'm just using this camera to get the project started. And then what I'm going to do is I'll probably switch to either a 1080p full HD camera, underwater camera, or a 4K underwater camera for my underwater drone. And so I'd also probably would prefer the camera to connect directly into one of my laptops, so I can get a better quality screen too, a higher resolution screen. The screen itself here is not HD either, but it don't look too bad, and for the price, you know, it's I think it's reasonable. You can see underwater, and there's the prop again. Oh, there's the right there is my grounding plate, so that's a zinc grounding plate, and it's still in one piece, so that's good. If I clean the bottom, I can really look at this stuff better and brush the prop off. I can get a good look at the zinc that's on the prop shaft and see what kind of condition it is in. But another thing is I need white LEDs. If I had white LEDs, it would lighten that up a lot brighter underwater, so I'd see a lot more, and it'd be a lot, probably a lot clearer to see. So yeah, this is just a little sample of what the screen looks like and what the recorder looks like. This unit here does have the recorder in it, and it has an SD card slot right here, and I have an SD card in it, a TF card. And but when I finish my ROV, I want really high quality video with a lot of light, so you can see all the color and see all the detail. And there's the grounding plate again right there, so it's still there intact. And I think the zincs are okay, because I checked them with a different camera. I kind of put my own little underwater camera thing together a while back, and I cleaned the bottom and inspected the zincs, and they'd been those zincs had been on this boat for probably 5 years. When I replaced them last time, I dove down in the water. I have dive equipment, and I replaced the zincs. And when I was in San Leandro Marina, I had no boats around me, and so other boats around you can make your zincs deteriorate faster. The zincs are to protect the bronze. If you have bronze or stainless steel, my prop shaft stainless steel and the props bronze, and the dissimilar metals in salt water creates it acts like a battery, and so what happens is current goes through the metals. And so there's more noble metals and less noble metals, and so like gold and silver are very high noble metals, and so they don't deteriorate so much. But when you get down to like stainless steel and copper, those are less noble metals. So what happens is a higher noble metal will actually pull atoms out of the lower noble metal when the current passes through them. It's called electrolysis, and that it creates corrosion. It's called galvanic corrosion. And so the reason you want those zincs on your prop shaft and your rudder post and your prop is to protect that your prop and prop shaft from corroding in your rudder post. So that's the whole reason for it. So the zincs will decay over time. They're sacrificial zincs. That's what they call them, and that's what they do. So they're the least noble metal is the zinc, and so so the zinc will decay and keep the prop and prop shaft from decaying. And so that's the point. Now, once those zincs get worn down and decay to a certain point, they don't work anymore. And then all of a sudden, what'll happen is you'll start getting decay on your prop and your prop shaft. And I've seen props that the blades actually they would actually crack because the current going through might be going through just one area stronger than the other areas of the prop, and it can actually create a crack in one of the blades of the prop, and the blade can actually fly off when the prop's spinning. So not good. That can damage the bottom of your boat, and then of course now your prop is totally out of balance, and you're going to have massive vibration, which can damage your cutlass bearing. It can actually even damage your transmission on your boat. And so that's the whole purpose of that. So when you're in a marina and there's a lot of boats around you, your zincs are probably going to decay faster, depending on your neighbors and how they got their boat grounded. If they're properly grounded and protected, then less so. But if you're next to, say, a boat that's made out of steel, your zincs are going to decay faster, and you'll have to replace them more often. So at any rate, yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with the camera and the screen and everything. Again, I wished it was HD, especially like full HD or 4K, but that's something I'm going to be doing in the future. But as far as building my underwater drone, this camera will work great for that. And I got 150 feet of cable on the camera, so so that's how that works. And then when you're outside in full sunlight, the screen, you can hardly see it, which is typical. I mean, you know, your smartphone tends to be like that, right? And so I'm inside my boat right now, and that's my goal, is to throw the underwater drone into the water and be inside the boat here with the screen and the controls to control the drone. And that way I can see the screen really well. And just sit inside the boat and be able to look at the bottom of my boat without getting wet. So that's the plan. I want to mention is that the video format for this camera and recorder is AVI, and so a lot of software that plays a video back, or won't play it unless you have the codec installed. And so you'll have to convert it if you want to, like probably odds are if you're going to watch it on a laptop, depending on the software that you have, you may need to convert the file to something else. So you can convert an AVI to like MP4 or something like that. It's not going to be as good a quality as if it was filmed in MP4, but you can convert it so it'll play on different software applications. And so, at any rate, you can fast forward or skip over the different. As you notice, the screen flashes. That's how long each video segment is recorded on this unit. It only records, I think, 30 seconds, and then it shuts down and starts a new file. So if you record for like an hour or two, you're going to have a lot of files, and that's the one thing I don't like about it. Yeah, so you have to deal with that. That's a problem, and so yeah, it's constantly shutting down and restarting about every 30 seconds. I don't know why they do that. It's crazy. It should just come on and record the whole time. And then there's different. See, that just did it there. And then you can skip ahead to all those files, through the files, like that's number 16 out of 20. And then if I jump ahead, I can go to 17 out of 20. I had 20 files there because I didn't run it that long. And but yeah, you can skip forward or skip back, and you can pause. So I just paused it. It has a record button and a play button, and they also are plus and minus buttons for the menu. And let's take a look at the menu real quick. Okay, there's the menu, so you can navigate through that. So you can control the brightness, the chroma, the contrast. So if you brighten it up, I notice it gets washed out. So you can brighten it up, but then you go and you adjust the contrast, and it darkens back down. So you can do that. And then let's see, and then there's reset. That's for resetting the whole system. And then let's skip, let's see, how do I do this? So this just brings you through these 4 options in the first menu, and then the second menu. I don't know how to get there. How do I get there? Hit menu again. Oh, here you go. Hit menu again. So hit the menu button again, and then you'll have a couple options here, which is English, and then so you can. I don't see any other languages, but there's English, and then there's rotate. So you can rotate the image, sideways or upside down or whatever. And then there's time and date, so you can set the time and date on the recorder. And then there's a menu for still pictures. So you got picture view, and let's see, I don't know what picture view is. I'll just see what that is. And then there's also snapshot, and delete all, and copy. Let's see what picture view does. Okay, that's if you're looking at a photo. If you want to go back and look at an actual photo. And then the last one is video. So you got record, play, format. That's for formatting your TF card. And then update. I don't know how you update this unit. There's no USB connector or anything like that. And then it shows the version, the firmware version, which is version 1.0. Okay, so that was the test, and the screen isn't very bright. It's hard to see in the daylight, and it's a little overcast today. It'd be a lot easier to do this probably at night. When I get this thing set up the way I want it, the plan is I want to be able to inspect the bottom of my boat, check the zincs, check the bottom growth. And what I'll do is I'll be sitting inside my boat where I can see the screen when I build the ROV, the underwater drone. So I'll be able to drive the drone around the boat while I'm sitting inside the boat. And that way I can see what's going on with the bottom of the boat. And at any rate, I hope this was helpful, and if it is, please give a like and subscribe.